welcome back to the Spirit of Watercolor with Linda again. And yes, we finished our small painting of watercolor bold and free exercise from the book I have been talking about that I found back in my library of books from years ago when I was studying at Eastern Michigan. And this book has 64 exercises, like I said, and we are doing the one on themes. So he did sort of a hilly landscape, and this is Lawrence Goldsmith, a wonderful artist. I've gotten a second book by him, and I'm going to talk about him because he's really inspiring me to paint beautiful, bold, free landscapes like he advises us in that other book. This one I just ordered, like I said, and it's got many, I mean, this is all about him. It's a biography, and it has many photographs of his work. He does everything from landscapes to abstracted landscapes. I mean, they're all abstracted to some degree. Sometimes it's scenes of trees or water or the land, and there's so much abstracted that I can't really sometimes tell what they are. I mean, you know, they can really move into non-representational, but they're beautiful in color and flowing watercolors. So I'm going to talk more about him later, but what we're going to do today is take the small sketch. Well, it basically is a sketch because I did it quite small. I could frame this piece that I did in the last video, the abstract landscape video. But what we're going to do today is I drew out similar but different to his, my own creation, but I'm going to be very much using his techniques as much as I can. And so I've just done some, you know, horizon lines, some hilly land here, some lines that infer water, just a little bit here and there. I'm going to do some wet on wet trees, some skies. Everything's going to be flowing, bold, beautiful colors. I'm going to use the same colors I used in the other video, where I used some of my favorite colors because they are so gorgeous. And there's that wonderful green gold and manganese blue hue and those kinds of things, cobalt blue. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to be able to really move and spread out. I want some of these trees to reflect into some water here. And it's going to be abstract, so it's, you know, but I'm going to be able to really let those paints loosen up and flow, and I'm really going to load that palette, okay? We're going to really get bold, okay? And keep it fresh. The smaller it is, sometimes the harder it is to do that. And this is a way to urge you to get larger, right? Because it's always a little frightening to do so. This is a gator board that I bought. These are at art stores. They're very lightweight. You can carry them anywhere with you, outside if you want. And I taped down this with masking tape. I tend to use that, although some people prefer art tapes, which are fine too. They probably lift off the paper better. I'm just real careful with this. You can actually put the tape on some people show you that on YouTube, I've noticed. You put it on your clothing and the tape gets a little linty and then it doesn't grab so tight. And anyway, so we're going to go with this and we're going to get in there and get loose and bold and free flowing. So, and I'm going to use those luminous paints again too. I know a little more about them now since I've used them in that prior video. So this is abstract landscape number 2, theme, part of the theme that we're doing, and with some luminous and incredibly beautiful Daniel Smith watercolors. So let's go to the table. Okay, so we're at the table. I've got this 18 by 24 nice large sheet of paper on the board, and like I said, the drawing I started here. I've loaded my palette as much as I can. Sorry about that, my camera's right here. Had to make adjustments for larger here. And I've added a little different greens than the forest green. I'm trying some of my other Daniel Smith paints, a Paraline green, which is a deep green, and there's a jadeite. It's a Primatech, which we're going to go into those at some point. Primatech paints are really beautiful, granular mineral paints, pretty natural mineral paints, wonderful stuff. I've wet all the other paints on here, the blues and the earth tones, so forth. And then I've also loaded the top of the palette again with some of these luminous colors. I've got the aquamarine and the mauve duochromes, and I think I'm going to, I don't think I did yet, but I'm going to put the autumn mystery on here as well. So we'll do that, and we'll start to get this free flowing. I've got my sketch up there. I don't know if it's visible. It's or the one that we did in the prior piece. And I'll be looking at that just for guidance. It got a little, I want to say muddy in here, but I liked that it was sort of the trees reflecting long. You know, like sometimes the light hits and they might only be this big, but they kind of reflect down in here. And that's where I'm going. That's what I'm going for. Here, it's a little different the way I've laid it out where the trees are. And yet I would like how when I was doing the demonstration, if you looked at it, I love the flow of the way the paints were flowing, and I kind of wished I had left it. So I'm going to try to do that here. My sky I really liked a lot in here with the, actually the, some of the blue, I just used the light manganese blue in there, and then I put in some of the duochromes in there, both of them I believe, and got some really pretty effects. The thing I didn't really mention in that painting before was when you tip it and turn it, that's when you see these shift colors, these duochrome colors. So let's see if we can get a more dynamic and fresh piece here. I'll do it in parts because I'll start with the top up here, and then I'm going to go, and you may see me in there. It's really hard for me, the way my camera's set up here, not to get in the paintings. But I'll try to kind of steer clear as much as possible. We're going to start in with a wet wash, just of color, or no color, and come in, okay, and bring that all in just to the top, to the horizon line I have here. Okay. There will be some... No, there'll be some things flowing down below too. Right now I'm focusing in on the sky. I can do that as a separate part, which might be smarter than trying to take on too much at a time. Once you get that wet with your nice big brush, you want to go in a few minutes with the flowing. I like to let it set for a minute, and then get some of these beautiful blues going up there like I did before. He's Lawrence, now I'm blanking, a Goldsmith, I'm sorry. His skies are very loose and free, and just letting some inference of clouds going on, and I really like that a lot. Sometimes he just goes with a completely red or orange sky. It's just like gorgeous too. All different kinds of ways you can do it. I'm trying to just go with my theme and continue forward. I'm going to make some changes like I already did here in the drawing, and I'm going to make some changes as I go, but I'm kind of using my own painting now as a guide to what's happening next. Oops, grabbed the wrong brush. I want my big flat. My regular 1-inch flat is my all-time favorite. I'm really trained with that. I'm not as good as some of the people I know with that. And I will try not to kick the camera. So I'm going in with some of the cobalt and some of the lovely manganese hue. I get a lot more on my palette. My brush is not behaving here. It has to get pretty wet. Get this palette really re-wet. They're going to mix for me anyway up there, so I'm not worried too much about that. But, you know, I always try to keep as much on the palette. Now, this brush can do so many things, right? So let's just get... So here's our painting dry now, and as you can see, I've used the same colors as my sketch, but this definitely, oops, upside down, looks definitely, I've got to watch I'm not pushing toward that dark, too dark again, into the blending into the mud. So I had used some rows of ultramarine in there, which kind of turned it into a dark instead of a vibrant colors, and I'm going to try not to go there, so I'm going to stay with these cool colors. I think I'm safer. And then we're going to go in now with our duochrome colors. So I have duochrome out of mystery on here, like I had mentioned, and of course I added more ultramarine, duochrome ultramarine or aquamarine, and then the mauve, which I may or may not use because that's going in that other color direction. I do have this quin, like I did on this, I did put some in the land on the sides, and I don't really know if that was even necessary. If I want to add some of that in here, earth color, maybe into the land, I could do that. This is that quinacridone sienna, which is gorgeous. It's got a lot of quin coral in it, so it's very vibrant, kind of a orangey brown. Very beautiful. So I'm going to get in and start to add some of those. I would stay here now. I would like to add more color, but I'm afraid that it'll start to get too heavy-handed. I'm going to stay with fresh. I've got some nice fresh colors pouring down, very similar, in my mind at least, to what inspired me in Lawrence Goldsmith's work. And yet it's more my style, a little bit more toward realism, still abstract. I think this is starting to have the essence of water. I may put a little more soft blue in here, maybe that aquamarine blue. We're going to just try some things, and again, every painting is, even for me, is I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm just going to start painting away here, and then we will speed up the video a little bit so you can kind of see it being laid in pretty quickly, and then but it should be pretty clear and straightforward what I'm doing. As I'm moving along, I've got the pours and drips down here, all the way down and all the way up. It's really been fun getting those bold and free and vibrant colors going. I'm not totally sure how this is going to finish, but I'm almost there, I think. Quite an interesting piece. Bold and free-flowing. I guess that's the goal. So yeah, it's been fun. I hope you can see it pretty well. The lighting here is up and down with the sun in a basement here, coming and going. All right. One more time, we're gonna look at this. It's actually done kind of what I wanted. So, you know, I was definitely inspired to be a looser and keep my colors as fresh as I can. And I really enjoy this. Especially certain parts of it. The really loose wet stuff like this. Yeah. I might go a little crazier colors next time. This is a little more, I want to say, to me, a realm of some kind of realism. I guess the colors are a bit vibrant for some realism, but good. All right. That was quite an exercise. I really enjoyed it. It is literally exercise when you paint large, when you have to stand up. I highly recommend that, by the way. And I don't know if this is totally finished, and I'll put it up behind me again. But I like what I've got thus far. I may go in and clean up some of this and make the trees look a little more tree-like, a little more detail in there, maybe with some white little tree trunks and branches with a little bit of opaque white, or maybe we could put in just a little more like a fan brush, you know, put in a little more detail. There's different ways to do that, so I'm going to do that. But I wanted to get this up for you, and just so you can see it's bold, fresh, and loose and free. Let those paints drip down. It was just a delight to do, and put in some of those paints again when you you know, turn this board this way or this way. You know, it may not show up in the video, but those duochrome paints do that duo color thing, and they're very subtle in here. But when you're, you know, looking at this like in the sunlight or in a bright lit situation, they show up much better, I think. I'll try to get it behind me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and got excited, maybe inspired to free up, loosen up, and let gravity work for you, and let the paints flow. Let the colors run in bold colors, rich colors. I'm going to do another one. I may interrupt and do some florals again, and or some other things. I have some inspirational videos in store for you also. I really want to talk more about this artist and his work, and how he's influenced the watercolor of our contemporary time. There's so many wonderful artists out there. Some are currently painting right now, and you can find them, you know, on this channel, or not this channel, but on YouTube channel, or on, you know, other ways and means. And of course, wonderful books of wonderful artists of the past. And I'd like to talk about some of those in the future as well, because some of them have really made an inspiration for me, and have changed my life, so that I've realized that, you know, art is something I want to be a part of. And I'm accepting that more and more, and I hope you are taking these steps in this spiritual journey with me. If this is something you love doing, I want to encourage us all to keep going and keep growing, keep painting and enriching your life in a deep, and it's just so good for the soul and the spirit, right? So I'm so glad you're here. If you really do enjoy these, keep on watching, subscribe, you can hit the like, make comments, and I'm just, you know, appreciating everything everyone's done, and welcome to the new subscribers too. Really glad to have you with us, and off we go to the next video. Stay tuned, more bold and free paints and colors, things to learn about, tips and tricks, and so on. So I will see you soon. Check out my other videos and let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Thank you. Have a most wonderful day.